Before AJ Styles became known everywhere in the wrestling world, and before Samoa Joe dominated in every company that he was in, before they were all stars, they were prospects. Every wrestling company that has survived for more than a few years has figured out one thing. You need a system to not only develop wrestlers, but identify them. WCW had this with their Saturday night program. WWE had it with Heat and Velocity, and now NXT and several other shows. Developmental talent, main roster stars. If those developmental talent impressed, they got a contract. TNA has their own version. It's airing right now on TNA Plus and in syndicated markets. It has matches, a few storylines, but what if Xplosion could be something more? What if it could be the bridge between OVW and the main roster, between prospect and star? I'm not just going to tell you how, but over the next few weeks, I'm going to actually show you how I would book Xplosion to be more of an in-house developmental system. The new wrestlers that TNA signs to developmental contracts, much needed reps. And because they may not know how the system works, especially if they've come from the independent scene where there isn't the budget or the fanfare. But so they need to learn how to do that, and how not only to work TV tapings, but work it for TNA. This would be the next step that I would do for if I was in charge of TNA. But so OVW as the external developmental territory, where some of the OVW wrestlers are signed to developmental contracts, and the other independent wrestlers are identified and signed via either gut check or boot camp, those type of shows that I mentioned in previous videos on this channel. So here is how the first episode would look, and I'm basing this off the most recent episode of Xplosion. So we have the Elegance Brand, who already holds a championship rematch for the Knockouts Tag Team Championships. But this match isn't about them. It's about the OVW talent sharing the ring with two against the TNA performers. Now, this will provide exposure for the OVW performers and wrestlers, and would give much needed reps for them. Not only would they have the opportunity to wrestle on OVW, but also in front of a TNA crowd on Xplosion, which generally tapes before Impact. Now, this would go out to all of the countries that TNA has international deals with for their programming. It doesn't really matter who wins this match, because what is most important is after the bell, and that is when Rosemary appears on the screen. And she works Allie's injury into this feud. And now the Elegance Brand's tag title rematch has just got personal. So one match with two purposes: developmental reps for the OVW stars, and storyline advancement from Impact. That's the model that I'm going to be using. Now, backstage, the interviewer catches both Em and Heather for their reaction to what Rosemary has said. And the conversation soon after shifts to that both are still in the Knockouts television tournament. And with M having received a bye into the semi-finals, both Heather and M are thrilled that they are in this tournament still. But Indi Hartwell catches wind of this and interrupts the interview and challenges M to a match next week on Xplosion. So she doesn't get a week off, as they were planning to. Now, this is storyline progression and something that builds on what's happened on Impact. Now, that's not developmental filler. That is television that's given time to breathe and to fully play out. Now, the second match on Xplosion would feature Jake Painter. Now, he's been on Xplosion for a while now, a few months now, and is still searching for his first win in TNA Wrestling. Now, put him in there with a veteran, John Skyler, who knows how the TNA style works, with his tag team partner from the Great Hands, Jason Hotch, at ringside. Now, the pressure is real. Sink or swim. Now, if Painter wins the match, he gets one step closer to being signed by TNA. If he doesn't, TNA learns what he still needs to do. And that also provides valuable experience for Painter himself. Either way, the system works. Now, the next segment would be providing the audience with more information about the upcoming pay-per-view. Now, this is going to be Lockdown. And Lockdown has a specific match that most people haven't seen in a very long time, Lethal Lockdown. So this video package and explaining video would go into the rules and the history of Lockdown. In the main event, or the final match of the episode, would see Dak Draper, an independent wrestling talent, with his manager Amy Rhodes at ringside, taking on the hometown man, who is a TNA wrestler, who is also very experienced and also serves as one of the producers for the show, Impact. Now, developmental talent gets tested. Established TNA names feature in the main event on one episode. If you enjoyed this deep dive into what TNA should be doing to develop and identify new stars, then hit like and subscribe to Sudden Impact, the premier destination for news, stories, and analysis about TNA wrestling. And if you can support the channel, consider buying us a cup of coffee. The link is in the description. And if you can't, that's fine. All I ask of you is to share the video, as it helps the YouTube algorithm recommend my content to others. And stay tuned for next week's episode of this booking series, where I continue to pitch how Xplosion can be an in-house developmental system. We'll see you then.